You are Class D, Subject 31102. The Class D basically being the lab rats of this facility. Death is imminent. But today, you got a second chance. Looking down, you see what appears to be hundreds of cells, just like yours. And now, corridors. So many corridors that can make anyone who doesn't know this place completely lost. Some are anomalous, with really bending effects, while some are just creepy and give a feeling of uneasiness. This is far from your only problem though, as you will soon see, you are not alone. And the other alive things here are not your friends. So, SCP-106 isn't much different from the base game. You just gotta be ugly. In case you don't know, 106 is just an old man that can go for rolls, and there are two ways escaping him. One is just running away like everyone does and you will eventually give up on your flesh. Or you can just find a Tesla gate and bait him through, but Tesla gates are rare, and all of these should make him go away temporarily. There's one solution to get rid of him forever now, but it's out of your range of possibilities yet. 106 isn't the only threat in this facility though. SCP-173 is also of course in here. While 106 is just an old man that can go through solid matter, 173 is a bit trickier to counter. Especially in this mod, since he is way faster than the normal game. If you don't know SCP-173, well first, what are you doing here? And second, it's a statue made of concrete and rebar that can only move while eye contact with the statue is broken, which is also why we can blink. And yes, it's not just OBS fucking up. And while you aren't looking at him, he will jump at you to break your neck, with the ability to move multiple meters in a single blink. Along with his different speed, 173 is also significantly uglier than the original game, making it look like one of the very early versions of Containment Breach. So now that you know the enemies and the environment, we can get to the game. So you explore rooms, find new rooms, eventually you find a level 1 keycard but it's inaccessible, pointing to the fact that there might be a little 0 keycard somewhere. And then section B, then A, and eventually an elevator that leads to the sewers. And that's it? No, not exactly. In all stories, you had the ability to play as multiple characters, with each their own stories, objective and encounters, and I will cover some more special characters in a bit. For now, as I say on this, you wake up in what seems to be a waste area full of luggage carousels, if it's even cool like that, and some pipes. My theory is that you fell through one of these pipes, and got in here. Lucky to not have fallen in one of these luggage things, especially if they were working. Who knows what it would have taken you. After a few seconds, you get to what you believe to be a higher floor. The doors are locked, so you go back and find a different path. Following the pipes, you find another elevator. Click on a button, and it opens one of the doors that was locked. Go back to the first elevator, while also breaking all legs along the way.
instructions in case of emergency at the site radio.
The left door is now open, showing a massive room, completely massive with boxes everywhere around you. And from now on, it is the same objective as declass mode. Only this time, armed with a paper that explains the request of supposedly the character we play as, asking for more complex containment for SCP-173, along with asking to have specially trained personnel to clean the containment. A request that doesn't come from nowhere. And you also have a little free key card. Now the only thing left to do is find a way to escape, and or reach the goal. The next role is the researcher, and again, some objective, though this time, the area looks really creepy for some reason. It's so dark, the walls look so dirty, and the overall atmosphere is far from welcoming. This level is by far the most unfinished one, with occasionally holes next to the door which look very weird. Especially since in this area, the doors open from top to bottom, instead of the more traditional doors that go left and right. So you can just see through and it's really weird. So you know the drill, travel through tons of rooms and find the elevator. This time though, it didn't have its own version for this room. It was the same room as the testing zone, which had an elevator to the offices, while we are in the offices. So apart from a few weirder rooms, this is really just like a maze to find the elevator. I managed to find it in a few minutes and reached the goal. From what I can find, these are the only playable humans, as the agent mod is locked, or not finished, that depends on how you see it. So now we can get to the really interesting part about this mod, the minigames. So on a first look, this might not seem so awesome, but it is. Just this game mode contains the whole content of another mod, the playable 173 mod in the minigame use culture. And there are a few other interesting modes, like the one where you play as SCP-280. I was really scared about this SCP because before I've played, I found an audio file, which I suppose was to be used when you get chased by 280. And I know this SCP can make anyone shit their pants if it sees correctly. Like in Terror Hunt in that decontamination room, which is probably one of the worst jump scares I've ever had in my entire life. But even after searching, this isn't used anywhere. There was supposed to be so much more modes than this, but most of them are just locked or unfinished, leaving us with 4 minigames. The other 2 that I haven't talked about are the least interesting of the 4, but still a very cool addition. One takes you to a site full of miniature sizes SCP-173, which makes the game a lot harder. And while in this minigame a bunch of SCP-173 are occupied to snap your toes, the other one is just you control a SCP-008-2 instance. The description says I'll need to spread this for the whole world, but I couldn't even find a single victim in the facility. And that's it for the minigames. I mean, not exactly. The locked modes still have a description, which can give a sense on what could have been these modes. One takes place in a blackout, another where you play as SCP-035, and another one as SCP-106. Which would have probably been a similar gameplay as the ones in SCP Containment Bridge multiplayer mod, but with NPCs as praise instead of players, which wouldn't have been bad at all looking at how the NPCs react to 173 in the use culture minigame. This would have definitely been really cool, with people running away from you, or crouching somewhere hoping you go past them. The last minigame is different. You are arguably the most powerful man in the world. In the group of the most powerful men in the world. In this scenario, the task which your group permits to hold, protect humanity, this one task, you have failed, is the end of the world. Hope is the last thing that survives. It isn't clear what caused the scenario, maybe an unknown anomaly or the known ones escaping. All of this will never be discovered, but we have one more hint: a single image.
Am I talking to myself? There has to be somebody out there. I just need someone to respond, please.